This is a remote access tool, a RAT, or a reverse shell, which works entirely through Discord. Check this out. Here I have the target Windows machine, and here I have a Discord server with a channel with the name of the IP of this machine. This entire text channel can be used to remotely control the Windows machine. If I type "who am I?", as you can see, the bot returns the command output. There we have the current working directory. I can go back directories and I can even list files. As you can see, these are the exact files on the desktop. Oh, and a reminder. This is Discord. You can literally invite your friends to the server and remote control a computer together in this text channel. How cool is that? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set this up. But make sure to watch till the end for something interesting. And by the way, this is obviously for educational purposes only. If you plan to do bad things, just click off now. Thank you. Okay, first let's set up a Discord bot. Open a browser, search for Discord, developer portal, and just go to applications here. Log in, now hit new application, name it something, agree here and hit create. Now go to bot, scroll down here and check this one and save changes. Now go to OAuth, scroll down, select bot, scroll down, select send messages and manage channels. Scroll down and copy this link and invite the bot to your server. You just need to paste it in your browser. Let me create a new server for this. By the way, this is the Heptasec Discord community, feel free to join. But I'll add a server, create my own, and name it rat test. Okay, and I'll invite it to this one. There it is. And click authorize. Now the bot is in our server. Now go to bot again, scroll down and hit reset token. And copy this. But keep in mind this is a secret, so don't show it to others. Now I'm going to create a folder for our project. I'm going to open it and we'll open Visual Studio Code here. I'll create a new file, call it bot.py. And for now I'll just keep the token here. Now let's get our bot running with a hello world answer first, and then we'll get to writing the reverse shell. Let's import Discord. Now let's create our Discord bot client, and now let's set up an event handler for a new message. This function is gonna execute every time a new message is sent somewhere in the server. And the message is also passed as a parameter here, so we have access to it. First of all, let's do if message.author.bot. So if the message author is the bot, let's return. This just says if the bot sent the message, don't do anything, because otherwise the bot would get in an infinite loop where it responds to itself, to its own messages. Okay, and now let's do a test. If message.content is equal to hello, let's send back hello world. And finally, let's do client.run and pass in our token. This basically starts the bot. Okay, let's save and let's open a terminal. Of course, you need to make sure you have Python installed. If you don't, it will pop up when you type in Python and just follow the steps and install it. But now let's create a new virtual environment. Hit yes here. Now let's do venv scripts. Let's do activate.ps1. Okay, let's do PowerShell -ep bypass. And now activate. Okay, let's do pip install discord.py. This just installs the Discord package, which we are using here. And there we go, it stopped being underlined. Here I have Discord as well, so we can see both, and let's do python bot.py. Okay, as you can see, our bot is now online, and let's do hello. Okay, great, our bot is able to reply. If I hit Ctrl+C and stop this process, the bot goes offline. Okay, I'm now back to our IDE, and let's now make it a reverse shell. Let's define another event handler. The ready event fires when the Discord bot first launches, and it fires once. So this event handler is gonna run once when the bot is started. In it, let's define a variable for the channel. This is gonna be the channel which we will use to write the commands and where the bot will send back the results of the commands. Now, one thing we need to do is we need to find an object for our server. If your bot is only in one server, just like ours is, you can retrieve an object of your server or your guild like this. We are accessing the array of guilds, and because our bot is only in one, it's gonna be the first element with index 0. Now we need to come up with a name for the channel. I think a very suitable name would be the IP address of the computer which connected. Now we can grab the public IP by simply sending a GET request to this address. Obviously I'm gonna have this blurred out, but this is your public IP. So what we can do is import requests, and let's set the IP equal to requests.get, and let's send a GET request to this address. And also, because the IP is separated by dots and Discord channels cannot have dots in them, let's replace the dots with dashes, because Discord channels can have dashes in their name. Okay, and now let's create the channel. We are creating a text channel, and here we are passing the name of the channel, which is going to be the IP. Now, because I don't want to deal with having to blur my IP all over the place, I'm going to just set the name of the channel or the IP to some placeholder IP address. Let's save and do a quick test. Let's make sure to have requests installed also. And let's do a test. Python bot.py. And as you can see, as the bot spawns, it creates this text channel. Perfect. Let's remove it and stop our bot. What we need next is a PowerShell session, which we can send our commands to and rely on it to return the output of the commands back to us. Here's how we are going to do that. Of course, let's import subprocess. And we are spawning a new PowerShell session, and we are also making sure to not create a window, so it is a hidden PowerShell. Usually, if we open PowerShell, we would have this window, but we don't want it here, so that's what this is for. Okay, now let's define a function to execute a command. Now here we are going to use a very similar idea as the one shown in our antivirus bypass video. So if you can't really understand this, I would suggest going back to this video and watching it as well. Basically, we're going to have a marker, and we are going to wrap our command in this try catch block. Now all this is for is to catch errors. So for example, if we were in PowerShell and we were to enter a command that would return an error, all this does is it just captures this error, so it is also returned to the user. And now we'll just write this command in this wrapper to the standard in pipe of the PowerShell session that we created. Again, if that is not clear, just go watch the other video. And now we need to return the output. We're gonna be iterating the standard out pipe, and we are gonna be appending it to this array. And finally, we'll just return it. And of course, we're going to know when our command ended by looking for this marker and breaking. That's explained in the other video. Now let's test our bot. Does this work so far? Instead of sending hello world, let's just send execute cmd, and let's execute, for example, who am I? And let's do one last thing. This event handler here executes when a message is sent to every single channel. So let's make sure that we're responding only if we are in that specific channel that we created earlier, which is saved right here in this global variable. So let's do if the channel doesn't exist, or the channel where this message exists isn't the same as the ID of the channel that we created earlier, then we return. If the channel isn't this channel, we don't do anything. That's it. Okay, let's save and let's try. Let's do Python bot.py. Our channel got created, so let's try sending hello here again. We got no answer. That's a good sign. Now let's go here, let's enter something. Nothing is returned. Now let's enter hello. If you remember, on entering hello, we should receive the output of the whoami command. And there we go, that is indeed the current user. I'll stop the bot. If we do whoami, that's the same output right here. Okay, we're very close. Instead of sending only this command, let's just execute the command that was the message itself. So let's do result is equal to execute cmd, and here we will pass message.content. That's the text that we sent in the channel, and let's send it. One special case that we need to handle is what happens if the command doesn't return any output. For example, if we do a command like cd ... as you can see, there is no output. So let's make sure with an or. This or will mean if this is an empty string, then do this. So if it is an empty string, let's make it executed message.content with no output. Okay, let's save and test it. Oh, well, the bot doesn't clean up for itself so far, so let's delete both of these channels and let's run it again. So if I do ID, or who am I? Okay, something is not right here. Oh yeah, well, we still have this condition that the message needs to be hello. So yeah, I forgot to remove that. So let's make sure that this condition doesn't exist, because we wouldn't be able to use our thing otherwise. Okay, let's save. Let's stop the bot and rerun it. This is the new channel, so let's try ID now, and we get the error. Let's try who am I? Nice. Now let's try using it for a bit. For example, let's go back, let's list directories, and let's try reading this text file. As you can see, it's quite big. Now, as you can see, this here is a bit of a problem. Our message can't be longer than 4000 characters, so we need to think of a way around this. Otherwise, we won't be able to get the output of commands that are 4000 characters or longer. So let's do the following. We'll set up an infinite loop, and we'll send only the first 2000 characters of the result. Obviously, if it is less than 2000 characters, we're gonna send all characters. And once we've sent the first 2000, let's do a length check of our result. If the length of the result is less than 2000, let's break out of the infinite loop. So what this is saying is, if the message was less than 2000 characters, we don't need to loop at all. We just send it as usual. In this case, this loop wouldn't even matter. If the message was shorter than 2000 characters, it would be the same as just doing what we had done earlier. However, let's handle a case where the message is more than 2000 characters. In that case, what we can do is cut out the first 2000 characters of the message and repeat the whole thing. So let's do result is equal to the result, but with the first 2000 characters removed. So how this works now, if our message was 3000 characters long, we would send the first 2000, we will check if the length of the result is less than 2000. In this case, it wouldn't be, it is 3000. So we don't break, but instead we remove the first 2000 characters, but we already send them, so that's fine. And because this is a loop, we then come back here, and now the message has 1000 characters. We send the first 2000 out, and that's basically the whole thing. Then we check whether the length of the result is less than 2000, and now it is only 1000. So now we hit this break. We no longer need to cut the message in chunks of 2000 because it is already less than 2000. And when we hit the break, we exit the loop and the transmission of the message is complete. Obviously, if it was 50,000, this would just repeat a lot of times until it sends the whole thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Now let's save and let's test. Let's remove our channels here that are no longer used. And let's do python bot.py. There is our text channel. Let's do who am I. Okay, good. Let's do cd dot. We are now on the desktop. If you remember, here's where this long file was. So let's do cat haha.txt. And now, as you can see, the whole thing gets printed in batches. It just sends the messages 2000 characters by 2000 characters by 2000 characters until it finishes. That's a way to bypass the restriction. Okay, well, we can add a lot of features to this bot if we wanted to, but I'd say this is enough features. If you want to, feel free to add more. Now let's create an executable file out of this script. The executable file is going to be the final payload, which when you give it to someone and they run it, you have access to their computer from Discord. So let's do pip install py-installer. Now let's do py-installer -- version. This makes sure it is installed successfully. If you see a version, it probably is. And now let's do py-installer --1 file --no console, and the script is gonna be bot.py. Once the build is complete, you can find your executable file in the dist directory. Let's find it in File Explorer. Here it is. Let's copy it. Let's close this. Let's put it here on the desktop. You can obviously change the icon if you wanted to. I'll leave that to you. You can research how py-installer works, but now let's test it. By the way, Defender is running. As you can see, all security settings are on, and let's run this. As you can see, nothing pops up on the victim computer. There is no trace of something going on, but if you open this channel and do who am I, you can see we have remote control. Let's do cd dot. List files. Okay, that's home. Let's go to desktop. Let's do echo subscribe into subscribe.txt. And there is the text file. Now let me switch over to my Kali machine to show you something interesting. I have transferred the file we just generated over here on my Kali. If we run file on it, as you can see, it is a Windows executable. We already know that. What I'll do now is I will download a script that extracts the bytecode from the executable, and I will run it on bot.exe. As you can see, it created this directory where the bytecode is extracted. Now I will run this grep command, which grabs this regex, which is a regex for Discord tokens. And as you can see, it finds something. If you open this file with a text editor, well, maybe not with this one, let's open it with VS Code. As you can see, we have some strings here like Discord token, but other than that we have the actual Discord token right here. If you rewind the video back, it is actually exactly this string. So what is the takeaway from here? Well, if you send someone who knows what they're doing this executable file, they could probably extract the Discord token and take over your bot. Now, let me leave you with something to think about. What would be a way to create the same bot.exe file with similar functionality, but keep the Discord token completely safe? I want to hear your ideas. Leave them down in the comments below or over on Discord. If you are in the mood for learning more ethical hacking, I strongly recommend the AV evasion video if you haven't yet seen it. Till next time.